Welcome, friends. It is I, your Scarf, and it's time for the vlog. What's there to talk about? Okay, so background is Hitman. Hitman is me trying to do a dry run on how I plan on doing Silent Assassin. This is not the way I'm actually going to do the video. I figured out a better way, but here's a way of me doing it. And so you'll see me trying to be perfect with little mistakes here and there, and I enjoy Hitman a lot. I really do. Let's talk about Hitman for a moment. So, with Hitman, it's a very fun game, and there's a lot of replay value to this, and obviously you're going to expect some Hitman footage coming out in the near future for Hitman content. We're going to do about 3 episodes. First one's going to be me just playing the game. Second one's going to be me trying to do Silent Assassin, and then third will be doing a bunch of just the fun stuff, just doing a bunch of different kills. Should be fun to do that right there, and that should really be it. Just 3 episodes should be enough to show off the new Hitman stuff. Big thing, though, is contracts and escalation. They've added more contracts, they've added more escalations. There's like 12 escalations now, maybe 14. And so there's a lot more things you can do. There's a lot of replay value to Hitman. There's the main level stuff, which is really good. There's a lot of stuff to find, a lot of Easter eggs in there, which is what's always been awesome about Hitman. But then they added contracts, and contracts is just more things. Just kill these random NPCs in these maps. Well, not random, people will pick what they are. You gotta kill them, or in specific ways. That's great. Then escalation is just harder ways of doing things. Escalation, I'm not the biggest fan of exactly. Like, I like that they give you this mission, then they make it harder. But it's a little bit kind of boring doing the same thing 5 times in a row. So I don't know. I feel like maybe they should have... I really don't know how they could have made it better. It's just a progression where it's slightly harder, slightly harder, slightly harder. I don't know how they could have just done that better. Maybe skipping load times, make it just easier to set up for it. Something. But it just feels boring just plodding through... just going through the same motions again and again and again, just a little bit harder. So I really don't know. Escalation is a cool idea, but I don't feel like it's escalated. I don't feel like it is executed as well as it could have been, unfortunately. But I really enjoy the game. So let's talk about Smite a moment. So the last footage of Smite has come out. We ended on Odin, because of course we did. Odin is amazing. That was a fun video to make. And it shows just how good we can be. We have really good editing we can do in Smite. I can be very entertaining in Smite. That's us at our strongest, is that Odin video. I'm hoping, of course, to translate that over to other videos. Jinx's editing style to other videos. My just enthusiasm and energy to other videos. That's the hope there, and hopefully we do well with that. Will we come back to Smite? We are not sure yet. Right now is the break. But we will see. But we're going to, of course, have a very Blizzard-level summer because of Hearthstone and Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm. Like, we're going to be playing those quite a bit, but there's going to be other things to do as well. We just got access to Dreadnought, so I'm going to do a one-shot on that. We also got access to Early Access Battleborn. I am not sure if we have access to Battleborn completely, but we at least have Early Access. So we're going to try to do a one-shot for that so it comes out for release. So that people are like, oh, so this is Battleborn. Battleborn is fun. I like it a lot. I just don't know about that price tag. And, like, 60 for that. And like, for Overwatch, I'm fine with it, because I bought TF2 back in the day. I got the orange box. Like, TF2 was not always a free-to-play game. People forget this. It was a game you had to buy to play it. And then it was years of that. And then they made it free-to-play after a couple of years, and because they made a lot of money off hats. It was amazing how much money they made off hats. Still make off hats. It's crazy. So they have that model. Overwatch is pay to play the thing. It's $40 minimum to get in there. I got the 60 Origins because I knew I really wanted to play this game, so well, get some skins and see how that goes with it. Just put a little bit more extra in there. And like, that was my big thing for me this year that I bought for myself, is going to be Overwatch. Like, I can't afford to buy too many things for me, but I bought that for myself, Overwatch, and I cannot wait to play Overwatch. And when it goes free to play, or if it goes, it's got to be eventually free to play, but we'll say not when, just see how it goes. But I think when will at least give it more population. So maybe in like a year or two it'll go free. And people are laughing about how it's going to go free. I don't care about it going free. TF2 did the same thing. I have no problem with it becoming free eventually. I don't have a problem with that at all, because I got in to play it. If pre-ordering it got you access to Overwatch like a year ago, that would have been awesome, but they didn't do that because they felt like, well, then people are just going to be buying in for that, and then blah 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 and stuff like that. They didn't want to do that murky business. I wish they did, because I really wanted to play Overwatch back then as well. I really wish they let you pre-order into it. They just didn't want to do early access buy-in, like, I guess, like Steam. I guess they're just scared of that. So I guess they didn't want to do that, so they did the way they did. Which sucks for me, for sure. So there's going to be a lot of Overwatch and Hearthstone and stuff like that. We did the video for the Old Gods pack-out opening, and I got some pretty good cards. And tonight, or I don't know when the vlog's going to come out, maybe it won't come out yet since I record on Saturday, we're going to do an announcement video for this. It's going to be the Hearthstone battles, me versus viewers. I'm going to have 9 or 10 decks. Some of them are Cthulhu, some of them are not Cthulhu. And they're all standard, though, and I'm going to fight viewers. And every viewer who wins is entering a chance to win the Deponia trilogy. People really like the Deponia games. It's a point-and-click, very entertaining writing with that game. People really like it, so it's a pretty good prize, I feel. And maybe I'll put up a challenge if you can be. If all 10 of my decks lose, then maybe I'll do a bit more giveaways. I don't know. I probably will also do a participation giveaway as well, so we'll do a couple more prizes. We'll see how I do it. I'll do the announcement video in a little bit. But there's also the Overwatch. Overwatch comes out Tuesday for early access, and we have codes for that. We have codes for early access, so we're going to stream Tuesday night, like 6 p.m. or a little bit later than that, depending on when I get home from work. And it's going to be Overwatch. And we're going to give away an Overwatch code at the start of the stream and in the middle of the stream. We have 2 codes to give away, so that's going to be really awesome right there. So someone can join us from the start, well, after they download the game, and someone can join us later on, well, after they download the game, or they don't, like, maybe they'll download it by the time we're done with the stream. We'll see what goes on there, but I really want to play Overwatch. I really do. But I also got Battleborn. If I do have full release Battleborn, we'll also have some Battleborn footage as well, because that's pretty cool. We'll at least have one shot for Battleborn if we only have early access. Did I mention Dreadnought? Let me mention Dreadnought. I got access to Dreadnought. I got given access to Dreadnought. Dreadnought is fun. It is spaceship battling. It doesn't look the most interesting to some people, and it looks freaking amazing to other people. It is a very, very binary thing, I feel like. This is a game where it's exciting as hell, which I feel it is, or it's boring, because attacks are kind of slow, your ships are kind of slow, there's nothing really fast about you. If you want the fast one, you'd use the Corvette. The Corvettes are the little ships. They can move around really fast, they can shred things, but they can get killed very easily. Use those ships if you want to be really fast. But there's a lot of these, most of your ships are just big and slow moving, and they have all these attacks, and it's so fun. I really enjoy Dreadnought. I really do, and I'm going to one-shot that for sure. Probably stream it again. Speaking of streaming and everything, numbers with... Oh, shoot, I got to talk about this. Jinx is going to put up a straw poll in the description. Make sure you look at that. It's going to be for a server for the summer. What game do you want to see a server for? I think I mentioned this last week. Maybe Don't Starve, maybe Ark, maybe what's it called? Minecraft. There's a lot of different games, like Terraria, a lot of different games that can use a server. And the question is, what game would you guys mostly want to see a server for? So we have that, and we rent one for, like, the summer. We all have fun with that server. Could be a lot of fun. This is something Jinx wants to try out, so summer hangout with a server. So she's going to put a bunch of game options on the straw poll. Check it out and make your vote. What else was I talking about after I cut myself out on that one? Dreadnought. Yeah, Dreadnought's fun. You're going to stream it. It's very fun. Oh, yeah. Stream numbers and YouTube. We all know that Smite is the big draw. And now I gotta work on turnover or just getting new viewers in both streaming and in YouTube. And for those, I am not sure. As like I said before, advertise like a shameless whore, which means just mentioning your stuff every time you can. And I am trying to do that, like mentioning my stream to Hearthstone, mentioning my stream to 2K or Gearbox for Battleborn, mentioning my stream to Hitman. And more indies are usually more susceptible to doing that, to retweeting your stuff. Like we did Neon Chrome. Neon Chrome has like 7,000 followers on Twitter. So we hey, we made a video on your game, and they retweeted it, and nobody watched it. So crap. But we're working on it, working on advertising like that to get more people interested. Neon Chrome's a really fun game. Enter the Gungeon's coming up as well. Enter the Gungeon is amazing. I really like a one-shot series. Different games we can play and stuff, and just advertising indies is very fun. But of course, Smite is our big draw for views, so it's going to be interesting to see how far we drop off as we try other things. Dark Souls has been pretty strong. We get about 100 views per video. That's pretty good. That's not bad, but it is, of course, Dark Souls. And the trick, of course, is becoming so entertaining that people come for us and the game, not just the game. Because we want to be able to, have 100 views, and then 200 views, and 300 views, 400, 500. I got to get stronger and better at that, but I also got to advertise better. I also need to rely on word of mouth. If I've said this a few times before, is I need you guys to just throw me out there as well. Just put me everywhere. The more you spread me around, the better it'll be for us, so more people can see us. That's really what it is. The same thing goes for streams. And it's a difficult thing with streams. Is just, for Smite, we get 50 people. For Hitman, we get about 20 people. For Hearthstone, we get about 20 people. Like, we get a good number of people, but we've always been in this area of, between 20 and 50. 20 and 50 for Smite. We've always been that area. We've gone up to maybe 100 once or twice in our lives. And that's it. We've always been that area. When it comes to anything that is not Smite, like, say, Hearthstone or HOTS, or Hitman right now, we get about 20-ish views. And if I do any indie games that no one knows about, it's about 5. That's it. Or XCOM. XCOM gets about 20. But it's about 5. So I'm getting like 5 people for Dreadnought and this and that. So I got to do better on just drawing people in, making them want to watch whatever the hell we play despite the game. That's something I really got to work on, because we see other people, and it does the same thing to them. It does the same thing as well. We'll see other Smite main people, they'll get like 500 views in Smite. They do another game, they'll only have 100 viewers, or maybe 200 viewers. It just drops off, because Smite's their big draw game. That's what happens when you do something a lot. Like, yeah. That's what you do. Usually, you anchor yourself to a game and you get a lot of views through that, and people know you for that, and then you try to do other things and they don't like you as much. And it's hard to be something where people just like you, and the game is number 2, but for me, it's like you want to have the balance of you're important and the game's important, obviously. You want the games to be respected and represented well. That's kind of why I don't really like playing music over streams. One reason, of course, is copyright, but the other is you're not really respecting the game if you're playing music over it, in a way, because you're not hearing the game's music. You're not hearing the game's dialogue or anything like that. It's getting played over. So I'm not really a big fan of music on that. Something I'd like to see more with the streams, though, is more conversation. Like, I try to talk to stream, but everyone's very shy. And I guess chats are just shy, I guess. I don't know. Or I just don't ask good questions. So I got to work on that as well. Definitely got to work on that. I think that's everything with the channel. So the content coming out in the future is going to be, of course, one-shots. Into the Gungeon, Battleborn, Dreadnought. We're going to see Hearthstone stuff. We're going to see, of course, Dark Souls. We're going to see maybe Battleborn. We're going to see Overwatch. We're going to see some HOTS maybe. I'm going to try to get back into HOTS at some point. I'm going to be gone next week. I'm going to be in Vegas next week from Friday to Sunday, so we're not going to see any streams at that point. We might see Thursday streams, but it's probably going to just be Overwatch. We will see what I make next week, since I'll be gone. I at least have Thursday to work on content, but Tuesday night we'll have the Overwatch stream. I'm going to make an announcement video after this video. I think that is everything. Oh, one other thing with Hearthstone is I gotta work on not getting mad at you guys when you backseat game. And you guys are aggressive about backseat gaming. It is annoying as crap. But I have to work on being more diplomatic about it. Instead of me just berating you guys for berating me, it's more like, okay, dude, no. Or maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't know anymore. I just took the turn because there's a 30-second delay. I don't know. Like there's stuff with Hearthstone to work on. But we just got to keep working on being better entertainers. Stronger entertainers. That's very important. And we're going to work on Shad Gaming, so that's coming up eventually. And there's other projects I want to do. There's 2 interesting projects I kind of want to do with LPs. One of them I think I could do very well. The other one I'm curious about. And that is, if you see extra credits, they finished Dark Souls 1, and they went over a bunch of lore of it. And that was very interesting. I thought it was really good. I'm curious about doing that myself. Doing a lore talk after finishing a game, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm not good enough to do that. I don't know about that one. For guides, it's easier. I can do a guide on Dark Souls 3. When we're done, when we beat Dark Souls 3, I can do a guide on that. And the guide is, here's Dark Souls 3, and here's simple mechanics to it. Tips and not tips and comms, but just tips and tricks to the game. And it's just going to be a lot of tips and tricks. And then there's just going to be a lot of funny moments of yeah, don't do what I did there, and don't do what I did there. Don't roll off a rooftop. Don't do this, don't do that, use this over here, use fire on literally everything, apparently, because fire is amazing to everything. Just stuff like that could be fun to do as a tutorial video, because I like to do in tutorials, so that would be fun. Well, guides, I mean. But there's a slight difference between guides. But, it'd be fun to do that. Like, when we finish an LP, do a guide on it. When we do this, do a guide on it, and stuff like that, because we have plenty of footage for the guides once we're done with an LP, so I think that would be really fun to do. So that'd be awesome. If I ever decided to do guides for, I don't think Hearthstone, I don't think I'd ever be good enough for Hearthstone guiding, just because cards are just so complicated, and there's no way I'd ever figure out all the combos to that game. Like, I'm no Trump. There's people who just really understand card games. Jinx knows card games a lot better than I do. I back when we played Hearthstone when it was first out, I played it for months, but I didn't mean I knew everything. I just knew some things. There was always new things to learn about Hearthstone. That's the great thing about Hearthstone, or any card game, is there's always these combos you can learn, and sometimes there's just these combos that are ridiculous. But yeah, Overwatch would be interesting to do it, but it wouldn't be a guide to just play them on everything. It'd be understanding, I think, the characters. I think that'd be the best way. An easier understanding of how to play someone, like doing a tutorial, like a guide on say, May, and you would talk a lot about stall tactics and freezing and melee, like when would you use melee with her and stuff like that, and other characters, and maybe a little bit on who you combo well with. Like, Reinhardt and Hog have the funnest looking combo. I love this combo so much. Hog has a Scorpion pull, right? You can Scorpion pull someone with Hog into Reinhardt's forward charge, which instantly kills people. That is an awesome combo. It is the funnest thing to see and get done to you. It is such a good combo. And that's something I really like about Overwatch is, for the most part, when you get wrecked, it's fun to get wrecked in that game. This is something that not a lot of games do very well, and it's very important, is you want to have fun when you get wrecked. What? It doesn't always happen that way, like when you get Black Widowed, when you get Widowmakered, you just get sniped in the head, it's not as fun to get sniped, just one hit, you're dead. Stuff like that, not as fun, but when you see big combos like that, it's always fun. Not as fun, of course, to get hit with D.Va's ultimate. Oh my god, hell no. Not as fun to get hit with that. It's such a ridiculous ability. And she yells, nerf this, because damn well they know it's a strong ability, but they have some counters to it. But yeah, that's what's going on. Let's see, what else is there? Let's talk about a short subject here. And this is... short. Gonna try to make it short. Hitman's gonna go for a while, because there's quite a bit of footage, but check yourself before you wreck yourself, I think is the best way I want to put this. And that is, we all think we're the protagonist. We all think we're the main character. We all think we're that one. And usually we think we're always right. That's a problem, obviously, because we can't all be right, because sometimes, well, like I've said before, sometimes we're just assholes. That's just how it is. But sometimes I think we should check ourselves before we wreck ourselves as to what we are doing. Like, just like, the idea I think is just, am I the asshole here, or am I not? Just the concept of just taking in, what's the word here, just, was it gut check? Just taking an inventory with yourself, just checking yourself, like, was I in the wrong there, or are they in the wrong there? And like, going to you first, just, did I handle that correctly, or was I the ass here? Did I misunderstand? Or did they misunderstand? Or did I say things wrong? Stuff like that. And it's more focused on ourselves, and I think this is important, because there's too much of everyone thinking they're right, and there's no way they're wrong. And that's dangerous thinking to me, and so I'm just saying maybe we should check ourselves a little bit more and understand what the hell is going on. Maybe we are right, maybe we are wrong, but how often do we do a thing and then consider whether we are right or not? How often do we consider our actions after we've done them? Were we right or not? Or do we just do it and then we just think we're right, even in arguments and stuff like that? That's really what I'm trying to say here, is maybe we should check ourselves a little bit. And I'll give you, like any example you have, like when you have an argument with, even most likely, the most one is when you have an argument with a stranger. Usually when you have an argument with a stranger, you'll usually go like, okay, I'm the one that's right here. I'm having this argument with this person. I don't know this person. They're a jerk just because, and I'm right. Usually when you have an argument with a stranger, that's how it is. Now, you have argument with family. Kind of happens the same way too. If you argue with your parents or argue with your siblings, usually, well, you think you're right, and rarely will you think about it later on. Sometimes you will. Usually, for the most part, you would assume it happens with relationships that, well, it's important to have a healthy relationship and that you talk things out. So you have arguments, both think you're right, but eventually you have to talk things out and understand both sides, or else that relationship ain't going to go so well. You really got to consider both sides in a relationship. But just in general as people, I think it'd be nicer. Oh, not nicer, but just better if we checked ourselves as to what we're doing and if we are right or if we're wrong. And the hardest thing would be to swallow our pride and apologize if we really were wrong. There's nothing wrong with showing weakness, in my opinion. This is something that, I guess as individuals, there's nothing wrong with showing weakness. When an organization shows weakness, people get really mad, but I don't think there's even that. Even with the president, I would not have a problem if the president, something went wrong, if he showed apology or weakness. And this is something that I don't understand, where I'll bring up this real life topic. There are people who do not want the president of the United States to ever visit a memorial or anything for Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Nothing. Like, the closest we've gotten to it, I think, was Secretary of State. The idea is it'd be us apologizing for nuking their people. And you can argue either way. You can argue that, yeah, we should apologize. We did F up a shit ton of civilians. And those are arguing this was during war. This was an act of war. This was done to make war not happen as much. This was done to cut the possible losses between a American-Japanese war progressing to even worse levels. You can have arguments on both sides of that. And so that's a hard debate. It's like, I wouldn't have a problem with the president just visiting and looking at this memorial about this stuff. But there are those who feel like this would be a show of weakness. And then you also have just politics of, Obama meeting one of the Middle Eastern, like, kings or sultans or whatever they are. Can't remember what they're called right now. Or meeting some politicians in the Middle East. And he's, like, nodding for hello. But it got taken as a bow to some people, so he's bowing down to them. And so it's a sign of weakness, and then politics went nuts, doing spins all over. This was a couple years back. They were just spinning the crap out of that. And it was just him going, hello, with a bow, because bowing's a thing. But there's just so many just implications, looks at that. It's crazy. It's crazy. But this is the example I want to go with for this, and that is a case that happened a while back. And maybe some of you know it. So Snapchat has this filter. We can take a picture of yourself going at a speed, and it'll show you how fast you're going. And it's like you're running, take a picture of yourself. You're biking, take a picture of yourself. Some people drive and take a picture of themselves. Last year, this chick, driving with her friends, takes a Snapchat of herself. The Snapchat is 117 miles per hour. As she's going to save it or send the picture out, she crashes into another car at 107 miles per hour. She gets wrecked pretty bad. The cars get wrecked pretty bad. The driver of the other vehicle now has brain damage to the point that he can no longer take care of himself. That's how bad it is, that crash. After the crash, she took a selfie of herself in a stretcher, and she put lucky to be alive. She's still doing the thing that led to this. Also, by the way, someone has taken a picture at 147 miles per hour and taken a selfie of themselves with Snapchat. Snapchat asked that in their terms of service, please do not drive and use this filter. They have that in there, covers their ass. In their terms of service, or what the table count, whatever the word is, I think it's terms of service. They ask that you don't do that. They ask that because what's happening is they're being sued because the suit is that, well, they're being negligent or something like that because they should know that people are going to do this while driving. But Snapchat asks that you don't do this. They're also suing the girl, of course, because they should be. It's messed up what she did. But this is an example, and we always see this with... The thing is, the news shows us just these small shots. There's billions of us out there. Billions. A lot of us that aren't doing anything stupid or wrong, for the most part. But we see these examples here, and I'm just bringing up this example. That's messed up. And what the trip is, how she doesn't realize, doesn't check herself on what's wrong here, is after she got in that car accident, she took a selfie. She used Snapchat still. And she's going for attention grab still. Like... This is the problem we have, of course, with social media and everything is a lot of, hey, look at me kind of things. And that's kind of what I'm doing as well with our channel, right? Where, hey, look at me. I'm playing games, having fun, and wanting to entertain y'all. But that's always what entertaining's been. There's this blur of it of people who just want attention and people who want to entertain. And you need a little bit of wanting attention to be an entertainer. Do I want attention? I think I want attention to entertain. So there's that little bit. But... With the social media age right as it is, it's a lot of people wanting attention, and then they'll look at how many retweets did I get, how many likes did I get, how many whatever the hell Facebook does did I get. Like, there's a lot of that these days, and so people grabbing for attention, doing crazy selfies, doing all these things. Like, there was a girl who did a selfie of herself from a tall building, and then she fell to her death. Like, people doing wild and crazy selfies, and some people don't get killed. There's a lot of lucky people and a lot of unlucky people. And this is just some attention grab, and it's not so great. But, I don't know, that's part of what we are. Humans are very stupid beasts. We are very stupid, but we're also very lucky. And we're also very fragile. And, I don't know, there's billions of us. We're like 7, 8 billion right now? There are billions of us. And a lot of us die, millions of us die every day. A lot of them are for just medical reasons, or this reason or that reason. A lot of us die because we're stupid as hell. That's what happens. There are those cases of that happening. Not so great. Not so great at all. So the whole thing is just check yourself, I feel. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's really all I'm saying here, and I went on this topic for quite a bit. But that's really just the topic I want to go over on this one, is just check yourself. Don't get yourself messed up, because sometimes you're at fault. And it's just hard to admit being at fault at times, and I don't know, we all hide. We don't really like to admit when we're wrong. And I'll admit when I'm wrong, it just takes a while for me, and we've seen that. We've seen that with Smite, where I'm like, no, this build's great, and they're like, no, I see, yeah, you guys are right, this would have been better right here, this would have been better right there. There's some things that could have been done better. Like, in the moment, I've got all the pride. But once it's over, I will listen a little bit. And I think that's kind of just people in general. We're in the moment, we do not listen. And when it's over, if we evaluate, if we're willing to evaluate, we can improve. And that's what's important. I think the willingness to evaluate and improve, I think that's part of what I'm talking about right here. And I think that's important to us all as human beings. And, we could go on. There's just so many examples of people saying stupid shit. Oh my god. And not realizing what the hell they're saying. But I think that's enough. There you go. That is the vlog. I had fun talking. It'll be fun watching and listening. There's still some Hitman to go. Now, you see where I made these little mistakes because I'm trying to do Silent Assassin. I'm not getting it perfectly. Especially with that Franco guy. But, thanks for coming by. Thank you everyone for watching. Likes, comments, for sharing, everything with that. Thank you for jinxing all of her hard work. She does a lot of hard work. Good editing. Oh. Episode 15 of Dark Souls. I don't care if you don't actually watch this LP. Watch this LP on that episode. This is going to be the best episode of Dark Souls to date. It is amazing. It is freaking amazing. It is so freaking good. I am full of so much pride for this. It's amazing. Thanks for coming by and see y'all later.
You can't throw things around. Find a garbage can.
Did you hear that? Someone's jacking a car. I'm having a look. I feel mildly annoyed. Sir, please move on.
Okay, so walk me through this.
Right. Well, this is the control panel for the air purification system. We're at a critical stage of development, and we keep the central lab perpetually doused in chemicals.
In case of an outbreak.
Yes. We use a unique compound that breaks down the protein code.
I'm not sure I know who you are.
You. Yeah, you.
let me see you again. Yes, I got him scared. He better not come back.
Do this thing. Yes, also.
There, in the sealed container. The virus prototype.
Huh? Just the temperature. Things are stable.
Was that? Not good. Somebody brought their senile aunt or something? Who's leaving stuff like this?
Warning, temperature rising.